Coach, we talked about those two off the free throw line, Harden and Embiid. And earlier in the year, I talked to DeAndre Ayton about, with Giannis, you have to meet him early. With a guy like Embiid, what's kind of the difference as far as that physicality and not getting kind of baited into what he wants to do?
You said baited, I didn't. So, I don't know if anybody has an answer for it. If you meet him late, he can put you in the rim. If you meet him too early, you end up, hitting him, and then he can use that. I think every coach in the league is probably preaching the same thing, maybe saying it differently, like hands up, hands back, trying your best to, use your feet, and then relying on the second defender to maybe show bodies, but nobody's been able to keep him off the glass, I think, or off the free throw line. I think it's just hard, and you're trying to cut down on the number of free throws, which means you really got to get back in transition and show bodies so he doesn't see all these one-on-one opportunities. And when he does put the ball out there, no one gets it. And so, it takes a level of discipline to just not even try to go get the ball.
You mentioned that pick and roll duo, changing things up a little bit for them. What kind of stands out aside from the fact that James Harden
stands out? I mean, it's the thing for me is, like, I've never seen Joe roll. He's a roller now. Whereas when I was there, even before that, he was more pick and pop, more pick and stay. Now he's rolling and putting a lot of pressure on the backside. And that's the same situation you're talking about as far as, like, do you meet him early? Do you meet him late? Like, both situations pose problems for you. That stands out more than anything. I mean, we've seen James in pick and roll everywhere he's been, but I've never seen Joe roll the way that he's rolling now.
How's Cam Johnson?
He's doing okay, getting better.
Yeah, any sort of idea when he might be back?
No, sir.
We've seen his use of Giannis the last time you guys played in Milwaukee. We'll assume we might see it against Embiid. What does he do, just like as a veteran in those situations? To Gerald's point, does it just be hitting with the chest at the right time? What do you see so well that's so hard for guys to do?
I mean, Biz is a different defensive big than most because he's not as tall, but he's got long arms and he's physical, and he can agitate. He had a situation with DeMarcus the other day when DeMarcus, got upset, but it was because Biz was getting up under him a little bit, but he does it with his hands back, which really helps, and he can move his feet. And then he has really long arms to, go after the ball when it's high. I think anytime you play against James and Joel, everything has to be a high contest or a high reach. If you reach low, you're probably going to commit a foul.
We've seen Landry kind of step it up in the last couple of weeks. Just what is it like having that type of weapon in the offense, just meaning his off-ball movement and just using him in a way that maybe Booker just really no one else does?
I mean, it's helped us just because the scoring is a plus, but when he moves like that, you have to account for him, and that can wear teams down. When you're chasing a guy that can knock down threes, finish in the mid-range, get to the rack and dunk like he did in SAC. So it does help. It's like a smaller version of Cam Johnson. But we've been saying this all year about Landry. We just want him to go out there and play and not, pigeonhole himself into one or two things. But it does help us, especially from a depth perspective.
The last two games, DeAndre Ayton against how has he played in the last few games, and what do you expect from him today?
I mean, I'm focused more on the win. I think all of our guys have played winning basketball, Obviously, you had the numbers versus Towns. And then the other day, I thought the guys around him helped with Jokic because you can't stop those guys one-on-one. I think like tonight, you have to really play with big body position. And he's done that against those guys, but also recognizing that all three of them can shoot it from range and being able to just contest without fouling and don't go for a pump fake. The one time DA went for the pump fake on Towns, he got to the rack and dunked it. And those are the ones you don't want to give up because, you know, it's a paint touch and you put somebody else in harm's way as far as getting a foul. But I think he's done a good job against, you know, arguably the three best bigs in the league.
Where do you see the most improvements in Mikhail's defense within the conversation for not just being all defense guy, but maybe a defensive player?
I mean, I think when people try to screen him off of the best player, that's when I've seen it. It's noticeable that other teams understand how good he is. I mean, we've seen deflections, block shots, steals, staying in front of the ball, but when teams try to manipulate the offense to get him off of the best offensive player, that's when you notice, you know, he's a different defender. And sometimes you see it in game, but when you watch the film, you recognize like, oh, they're trying to get Mikhail off of that guy. And that's the sign of a really good defender, in my opinion, with all those other things that we talk about. But when teams manipulate their offense to get a guy off of their best player, you know that, you know, he's on their mind.